Joyfulness. You are my joy with all your lovers, spreading beauty everywhere like some magic fairy queen, on special visit for some inspiration, like on some esoteric mission, which seems well to prove efficient. Am I not proud to be your foremost lover, then, who never found but harmony in your society, of love and beauty to infinity, and no small lustful nights between? Can I hope for this to be a continuity? Of course, we always did return from any wayward journey, but my chief concern is this, that even our journey through eternity on wings of love more stable than the earth must reach an end and harbour, temporarily at least. How shall I describe? Complimentary. How shall I describe you? You transcend all idealization, making all description vain and base, since words can never give you justice. How shall I describe your beauty, indescribable and indispensable, as is your enigmatic and evasive personality, that baffles any lover and admirer and adorer? Yes, you are the realest kind of lady, like an esoteric queen, that never can be grasped by definition. Still one thing is too concrete to be denied, the beauty of your long and splendid hair, the sweetest thing to touch in all existence, smooth as water and attractive as a waterfall of darkest diamonds. Let my adoration be arrested there in stupefaction at your lovely hair, a true manifestation of your sovereignty in both beauty, character, and love. The way out, in the vacuum of despair and darkness, overcast with hopelessness and desert gloom, the blackness of my life turned into a blind alley of abandoned and decrepit incapacity, you kindled something of a ray that turned into a dominating lightning, growing to full glorious daylight sunshine, which since then has been my solace, actually my only spiritual comfort. Stay that way, my love, abide with me, and never fade again into the shadows that you came from, of atrocious sufferings and bad experience, and it will be my pleasure to sustain you by all means with all my heart, and thus perhaps we might turn all existence and the world into a better place. Förförelsen. Vad är kärlekens krafts innersta mysterium? Är det att man älskar själv eller att en annan älskar en? Kommer kraften utifrån, från någon annan än en själv, eller är den inifrån och egen? Ingen vet. Det enda säkra är väl att man aldrig är helt ensam om den, att den måste vara dualistisk, ömsesidig för att kunna existera och fungera. Och då lutar jag åt det mysteriet att det är två själars samklang som det handlar om, som på något sätt har en kontakt utöver den materiella, som tycks klart manifesteras när två själar har bestående kontakt fastän den fysiska kontakten saknas. Det är nog om något äkta kärlek som består i andra dimensioner än i bara tid och rum. Home from Siberia, out of love and out of touch, it's been a difficult divorce, compulsory of course, and something of an edifying challenge, since detachment reinforces basics. It has been a lesson of survival, hastening a singular condition for maturity and new expansion towards what we can't know anything about, the abyss of the great unknown, the enigma of the closed door of the future. We exist, and that should be enough for our sustained love to continue ever more to greater depth and more profound expansion, being locked within each other in a permanent and endless union. the falsity of the ego. Developing an ego must end up in the blind alley of frustrated lies, unless you cultivate it only for an educational experiment to find where destiny would lead you if you give free reins to your imagination and the freedom to create a fancy ego just to sacrifice it on the altar of self-analysis, criticism and scrutiny. You don't have a self in any case, so you might anyway just blow it up to see and learn where vanity would lead you. Truth remains, and when your egos are consumed, you will have learned at least the lesson of responsible detachment. New worlds of wisdom. When you hit the bottom of the dark, at least you have some ground to stand on, even if it is the bottom of an abyss, without light, with only sin and wickedness, with everything gone wrong, no hope in sight, but misery and torture, suffering and languishment. But it is not the end, it's the beginning of a climb to any heaven. From the bottom you can only rise above all shadows to the light, and you will never fall again. That is the wisdom of a total downfall. You will have a new perspective of the universe, being able to include it all. Estrangement. The strangest situation has developed of our love that no one could have had a notion of. You are all mine, and I have never loved you more, although you have done everything to alienate yourself by a development that could but be described as something of an alien labyrinth to Wonderland, where nothing any more is what it seems to be. Still, my love, you are the same. The world has changed and been turned upside down, but our love was only fortified thereby, and passion has been reinforced most thoroughly into a more established fusion than before. So anything might happen, so it seems. Disasters may occur and shock the world, and our love will only be the stronger for all trials of estrangement. Fusion. We are intertwined, two personalities in one, two lives united to one destiny, a hotter union than a marriage, less interruptible, since you are everything I ever loved, although you are my contrary. We are completely uncombinable and therefore so inseparable. In our nightly orgies there is more pain and suffering than revelries of pleasure, love claiming more than ordinary heartaches. But those heartbreaks fuse us even harder in the union of our sin together, and so are we one but cleft in twain. The one insurance of our via crucis is that anyone is free to leave at any time, and that's the last thing any one of us can do. You are my soul. You are my soul. You are my everything, and I am lost in you. When I return exhausted and washed up from all my work, after a tedious day of overtime, I would have nothing to come home to if you were not there to whisper new encouragement into my blasted, bleeding soul, that would run out of blood if I did not have you as a refill. So let me go to sleep in you, enfolded in your blessed arms, to wake again tomorrow to another day of hard work's torture, without you, but having you to wait for me to save it. Redemption. How could you be so quiet for so many years of suffering, my love, who never vanished from my sight, however much you tried to hide yourself away? But you were always there. I tried to reach you and was never quite without you, until you so suddenly appeared again, like some redemption angel from our heaven, reaching through all darkness of my soul to prove yourself as true as ever. Blessed be thy light and soul, so true to your nobility, so constant in your loveliness, and all I need now is to see you live again as the realization of the truth of our relationship. Empires crumble to dust, and nothing remains but delusion. The acid bitterness of lost hopes, the desperation of futility, the incurable sense of failure, and thus they all went down. Jerusalem and Egypt, Babylon and Persia, Athens, Rome and London, and America will be no exception. The truth is what survives, the sordid underground reality, the moles that always remain to grind new empires to pieces, the will that triumphs over all politics, the destiny that reduces dreams to ashes, the downfall of all hubris of eternity, and all we have is shades of what we've lost and never can retrieve again, on which we always start again to build new empires. Ditched, sleepless nights of love accompanied by nightmare worries for your fate of persecution, of old sins and undeserved adversities, make me as shattered as yourself, directly torn asunder by misfortune, hanged in execution after torture, but with some hope left of liberation still before the final strangulation. No one wanted this, not even the irresponsible bureaucracy, while the villain is the lack of empathy, the formalism of rules of programmation, for which no one is accountable, for which no one is accountable. Thus are you casually buried alive, and I with you in dreadful worries, quite atrociously insensibly, and there is nothing we can do but wait in limbo for an unknown opening, which no one knows when it will come. All we can do is to be true, at least, to ourselves and our destiny, which carries us through mortal vanity in this perpetual and bothersome unrest to no peace in eternity. To life. Take care of life, don't bust it. It's too precious to be wasted. Life should only be constructive. It is in itself creativeness, created just to multiply and manifest its vividness, and that's the meaning of it all. No matter what queer forms life takes, so long as it is life, it's sacred, and the joy of it is all that matters. Death exists only to enhance life's meaning, and so even death is life and only life. So don't misuse it and don't sabotage it. Live, let live, support and further lives of others, and the more you live yourself, that's all, the summary of life. Confidence. The narrow straits are dire. They are strewn with traps and dangers. There are reefs and shallows everywhere, but improvising through the crooked path with care and calm and cool determination will eventually bring all things through without as much as the minutest scratch, if only you avoid temptations and bad temper. If you lose it, everything is lost. Thus will you save your love through any danger, and each trial will be only for the best edification and good lesson of survival. Beauty rules. My love is like a dream in May, forever fragrant and expanding, gloriously embellishing all life with beauty, ever present, ever faithful, ever true, and ever lovelier with her long hair and timeless youth that never ages, since she is her soul and not her matter, ever sweet, constructive and inspiring, almost like a fairy or an elf, but more substantial in her essence. Beauty is a matter mostly of the soul, and therein lies the immortality of beauty. of which she is the manifestation. Soul is freedom and the only truth that evermore survives all age, mortality, and time, and outwits all mundaneness with a sovereign wisdom of transcendence. The climb, in the depth of chaos, I'm lost like in the bottom of a well, and cannot see a light in hopelessness, but must escape reality in order to find any comfort and relief at all. But there is always you awaiting in the tunnel end, a warm and soothing heart to ease the torture of reality and calm my wounded soul that without you has almost bled to death, but now revives at the mere thought of you. Thus can a thought and the mere virtual presence of a person cause the strangest miracles, and all you need is to believe in the reality of something better to achieve a climb from the abysmal bottom to the highest state of any perfect heaven. Thanks. I love you despite your weaknesses and faults. Your age has never bothered me and should not be a problem to yourself, since we are young at heart and in our souls, no matter how old souls we are. And that's the only age that matters, the age you feel that tends to ever in your soul grow younger, and wherein lies the true beauty of a person, her continuity and truthfulness to her own self. That beauty is to me the highest, which I find in you and never shall get lost, for you are you, and you have ever been the same, and for that I beg to serve you with my constant thankfulness. Welcome, my love, where are you in the dark? I miss you and can't find you. We are disconnected and disjointed, but for the time being only. You are always with me anyway, not only in my thoughts, but in my heart. Your soul has made a home in it, and I shall never kick you out. You have entered to remain, and I shall never be at home myself if you are not at home in me. So please stay on forever, and you'll never have a safer haven than in the protection of my loving heart. The hidden bottle. You have to have it, that hidden bottle in the back, your life's elixir, the most indispensable of medicines, the only one to always cheer you up, that whiskey bottle that so many times have saved your life from devastation and depression, giving up, and other fatal suicidal steps. Your friend is always there to serve your spirit, and if he is missing, then you have another one at hand and always ready to provide you with some continuity of courage, stalwartness, and intrepidity. Your friend in need, indeed, forever your bartender. Black love. In the blackness of my heart you stir some mystic fire that devours me and turns me on in sleeplessness night after night. My problem is the question if it's you or me that stirs the fire, or are we in it both together? You are always free and I can't keep you there, while I am prisoner of this weird love that never quite can leave me for a moment. Your freedom keeps me prisoner, and I can never hold you back, infringing on your independence, since you are a part of me, and I can never let you go. Halfway. The smoothness of our love is like a flower that will not wither, but just goes on flowering again, renewing constantly the beauty and exploding into newborn blossoms at every risk of fading or of tiring. That is the ordinary course of love when it is natural and ripe, when it has reached a state of harmony which makes it unassailable and incorruptible, a state which we have reached after some years, of trial horrors without end, and it actually feels like coming home. The plight of the Tibetans. We are the people that the world forgot, or rather just didn't care about, letting them be swallowed alive by China, the brutal dragon of force and no human rights, where the individual is worthless and negligible, while millions perishing in famine, floods or earthquakes is just statistics like for Stalin. But still we persist to exist, although the Chinese slowly but certainly since 60 years methodically work for our extirpation. We are allowed no human rights, no education, not our own language, traditions and culture, which all must be replaced by Chinese brainwash. If we flee our country, we are shot or caught and sent back to prison for correction brainwash, and that has been the standard procedure since 50 years. But the world doesn't care but kowtows to China, as now even Obama because of the Bush debt to China. The world sees only the good business of China and doesn't care if millions perish in the development, or if the Tibetan people and culture are extirpated on the way. Rugged weather. I didn't ask you for to take me for a ride. This journey proved a very different matter than we both expected and looked forward to, and I don't know who faced the worst, myself or you, but both our pairs of wings were singed indeed, which it will take some time to heal and to recover, since we were forced to get down hard to earth, to lick our wounds and heal our broken wings, and we were left without protection in the rain, with no good cloak to shelter us from frost, in our nakedness, forlorn like orphans. But others did fare even worse, and in comparison with them we were most lucky, for we always had and do still have each other. The master of reality. If all I ever felt about love was true, then one day of it would be enough to last 1,000 years. And I am sure that every day of it was true, for I have seen reality more real than any mean reality can dream of. Let it be that in your dreams you see beyond your sight, and that what you can see is more than all reality can boast of. So let not reality into your dreams, but let your dreams control your mind's reality, and they will take supreme and better charge of all the world as well. For all the world is but a fleeting dream created by your dreams, while that creation force, your dreams, is all that matters. Not to be trifled with, your horns stick out, but not with cruelty, but rather wit, sharp taste, acuteness, and delightful entertainment, crowned by your exceptional idiosyncrasies that provide your beauty and your charm with depth of labyrinthical dimensions of extensions which no man shall ever grasp or fathom. Let me love you, but at some safe distance, not to perish in your bottomlessness, like so many others did, of your soul's lair of webs and fascinations, like a cave which everyone is seen to enter with delight, but no one ever did come out of any more. Thus are you the most irresistible of mysteries, that everyone must love, but no one ever shall come through with. Celebration. The greatest cause for celebration, it would seem to be returning fully both to life and love, and celebrating it unendingly in a full night of only love. What difference does it make if we are wayward and away from others, if only we return back home once in a while, restoring all our love, revitalizing its capacity for timelessness, and its main trait, its contact with eternity, thus to immediately restore us fully to our health, vitality and life, in order for us to again be able to be generous and waste it all in sumptuous fits of energy. As someone said once, all we need is love, and to maintain it, all we need is to enjoy it.